Hi, grade 11s. Today I'm going to tackle the question, or the function, f of x is equal to negative x squared plus 3x plus 10. This function creates a quadratic. So what I'm going to do with this is I've been asked to state the x-intercepts, the y-intercept, the axis of symmetry, the vertex, the domain, and the range of this quadratic without actually graphing it or using graphing technology. So to start this question, one of the first things I'm going to have to find is the x-intercept. To tackle that, what I have to do is I actually have to factor the function. So I'm going to factor this out. So I'm going to factor this, and it breaks down into negative x plus 5 and x plus 2. If you're not sure exactly how I did this, I'm going to post another video as well, or the previous video, and it walks through the steps on how I factored that out. So from this, what I set the function to, I set it equal to 0, and then I have to solve for each value of x, or what value here would make this whole thing equal to 0. If I make 1 equal to 0, the whole thing becomes 0 because 0 times anything is 0. So I'm looking for two values, and the two values that I find are 5 and negative 2. Negative 5 plus 5 is 0, and negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So the roots, or the x-intercepts, are found at 5 and negative 2. And I can write that as the x-intercepts as negative 2 comma 0 and 5 comma 0. The second step is to find the y-intercept. This is considerably easier than the previous step. All I have to do is go to my equation, find the c value, which is 10, and then I can say that the y-intercept is at the point 0 and 10, or is positive 10. Next step's a little trickier. It's called the axis of symmetry. This is the line that divides the parabola in half, giving us two equal sides, or two symmetrical sides. And it passes through what is called the minimum or the maximum value. In this case, it's a maximum value because we have an a value of negative 1, so the parabola opens down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the midpoint of the x-intercepts to solve this. So I take my two values from the x-intercepts, negative 2 and 5. I put them into my midpoint formula, which is x plus 1 plus x plus 2 divided by 2. I have negative 2 plus 5 over 2. And that's 3 over 2, or 1.5. So that tells me that the equation for the axis of symmetry is x is equal to 1.5. Okay, and this is going to allow me to actually find the vertex. How do I do that? Well, I take my x is equal to 1.5. I go back to my original equation. F of x is equal to negative x squared plus 3x plus 10. I sub in the value. So I'm going to substitute in the value of 1.5 for my x. So the f of 1.5 is equal to negative 1.5 squared plus 3 times 1.5 plus 10. I do some math, I work that out, and I find out that the f of 1.5 is actually equal to 12.25. So that means my vertex, or my maximum value for this quadratic, is 1.5 comma 12.25. So 1.5 is my x-coordinate, and my y-coordinate is 12.25, or the maximum height would be 12.25. The last part is the domain and range. The domain is asking me what is all the possible x values of this function. Well, it's pretty much anything. So for this case, the domain is anything that is any value of x that is a real number, and my range is any value of y that is smaller than or equal to 12.25 and is also a real number. That's how you would find the values for these 6 items without actually graphing the quadratic. We're going to have quite a few videos updating on this, and there's quite a bit to cover. Good luck and have a good weekend.